I'd always known Ethan Hargrove was magnetic, the kind of man who commanded boardrooms with a glance and left a trail of admirers in his wake. At 35, he was the VP of Strategy at Cascade Tech, our sleek startup huddled in the shadow of the Space Needle, where coders in hoodies dreamed up apps that could predict your heartbreak before you felt it. Me? Rafael Morales, 28, mid-level developer from a sleepy suburb in Tacoma, the guy who fixed bugs in the code while everyone else networked over craft IPAs. We weren't friends, not really, just colleagues who shared awkward small talk by the coffee machine, his blue eyes skimming over me like I was just another line item on a spreadsheet. But tonight, at the company's launch party for our new AI dating app, Irony of Ironies, Ethan had unraveled. The pitch had gone south, investors pulled out, citing a market volatility, and he drowned the failure in bourbon until the world blurred at the edges. I spotted him first, slumped against the brick wall of the alibi room, our go-to dive with its exposed beams and fairy lights that made even bad news feel poetic. His tie was askew, golden hair disheveled, that perpetual 5 o'clock shadow now a full night's regret. "Hey, boss," I'd said, sliding onto the stool beside him, my heart doing that stupid flip it always did when he was vulnerable. He looked up, eyes glassy, and for a second, I thought he might cry. "Raphael. The golden boy. Sit. Drink with your failing captain." We did, 2 shots of something amber and forgettable, and he poured out the frustration, words tumbling like the rain outside, the pressure from the board, his ex's latest Instagram flex from some tropical escape, the gnawing fear that at 35, he was already yesterday's code. By last call, he could barely stand. "Call me a ride," he mumbled, fumbling for his phone. But the apps were jammed, surge pricing through the roof, and I, foolish, hopeful Raphael, offered. "I've got my truck. Let me get you home." He nodded, leaning heavy on my shoulder as we stumbled out into the deluge. The drive to his Capitol Hill apartment was a blur of wipers slapping rhythm and his head lolling against the passenger window, murmuring apologies to ghosts I couldn't see. "You're a good kid, IF. Too good for this shit show." His place was a third-floor walk-up in a pre-war building, all exposed brick and mid-century furniture that screamed successful but soul-searching. I half-carried him up the stairs, his arms slung over my neck, our bodies sinking in a rhythm that sent heat pooling low in my gut. "Ignore it," I told myself. "He's your boss. He's straight, or at least, that's the rumor, the one that kept me at arm's length for 2 years. But as I eased him onto the leather couch, his hand brushed my cheek, thumb grazing my stubble, and he whispered, "Stay. Please." I should have left. Poured water, called it a night, driven back to my cramped studio in Fremont where the walls closed in like unanswered texts. Instead, I kicked off my boots, fetched a glass from his minimalist kitchen, granite counters, a single bottle of olive oil like it was art, and sat beside him. He sipped slowly, eyes clearing just enough to focus on me. "Why do you do it, IF? Stick around for guys like me?" The question hung there, heavier than the rain pattering against the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering skyline. Seattle at midnight, ferries ghosting across the black water, the distant hum of the monorail, a city that never quite sleeps but always dreams of escape. I shrugged, playing it cool. "Someone's gotta debug the humans, right?" He laughed, a low rumble that vibrated through the cushions, and then, God help me, his head dropped onto my shoulder. We sat like that for what felt like hours, the storm outside mirroring the one brewing in my chest. I'd come out in college, a fumbling sophomore at UW, after a hookup with my roommate turned into a campus rumor mill. My family, mom in her Tacoma diner apron, dad with his calloused hands from the shipyards, had hugged me tight, said they loved me fierce, but the world was a glitchy algorithm, full of swipes left on your heart. Ethan, though. He was the variable I couldn't solve. Rumor swirled, a college fling here, a discreet grindery profile there, but nothing confirmed. Just enough to make late nights debugging feel like foreplay. He stirred, lifting his head, our faces inches apart. His breath was still boozy, but his eyes, storm blue and sharp, locked on mine. "You're not like the others, Raphael. You see me. Before I could process, his lips brushed my jaw, tentative, like testing code in a sandbox. My pulse thundered. This wasn't happening. But it was, his hand cupping my neck, pulling me in, a kiss that tasted of bourbon and desperation, soft at first, then hungry, tongues tangling as the city lights flickered like faulty pixels. I pulled back, gasping. "Ethan, you're drunk." "We can't," he silenced me with another kiss, deeper, his fingers threading through my hair. "I know what I want," he murmured against my mouth. "And right now, it's you." The room spun, not from alcohol but from the gravity of it all. Clothes shed in a haze, his shirt unbuttoned to reveal a chest dusted with gold hair, my hands tracing the lines of his abs like mapping uncharted terrain. We tumbled to the floor, the rug soft under my back, his weight a welcome crush. It was messy, urgent, hands exploring, gasps echoing off the brick until release crashed over us like the waves on Elliott Bay. Afterward, we lay tangled, his head on my chest, the rain a lullaby. "This changes everything," he whispered, fingers tracing lazy circles on my skin. I wanted to believe him. God, I did. But as sleep claimed him, doubt crept in like fog off the sound. What happens when the hangover hits? When the boardroom lights come up and I'm just the developer again? Morning broke grey and unrelenting, coffee brewing in his fancy machine as I scavenged for my jeans. Ethan emerged from the shower, towel low on his hips, water beading on his skin like dew. He smiled, shy, almost boyish, and pulled me into a hug that smelled of cedar soap. "Last night. Thank you. For everything." We ate toast at his island counter, knees brushing, small talk veering into something real, his divorce 2 years back, the ex who couldn't handle the hours, my quiet life, coding by day, volunteering at the local LGBTQ center by night, helping kids navigate their first pride flags. By noon, he was suited up, back to VP mode, but he lingered at the door. "Dinner tonight?" "My treat." "No booze, I promise." I nodded, heart swelling. As I drove home through the drizzle, Pike Place Market bustling with tourists oblivious to my seismic shift, I felt alive, electric, like the code finally compiling without errors. But life, like Seattle weather, turns on a dime. That afternoon, an email from HR, mandatory sensitivity training next week. In light of recent company values alignment. My stomach dropped. Had someone seen us leave together? Gossip in tech spread faster than fiber optic. I shook it off, focused on the glow of possibility. Ethan texted, "Can't wait. Wear that shirt." I smiled, typing back a heart emoji for the first time in years. Little did I know, the real storm was just gathering force. The restaurant was a cozy bistro in Belltown, all reclaimed wooden Edison bulbs casting a warm glow over plates of seared scallops and heirloom tomatoes. Ethan arrived fashionably late, loosening his tie as he slid into the booth, his knee bumping mine under the table, a deliberate graze that sent sparks up my spine. "You look good, IF," he said, voice low, eyes crinkling at the corners. We ordered wine, red, bold, like the unspoken promises hanging between us, and the conversation flowed easier than the pour. He opened up more than I expected, childhood in Boise, Idaho, summers chasing fireflies in potato fields before his parents' divorce sent him east to Yale, business degree in hand but heart adrift. I always knew I was different, he admitted, swirling his glass. Summer camp hookups with the lifeguard. College experiments that felt like confessions. But the corporate ladder? It's greased with straight-laced lies. His hand found mine across the table, thumb stroking my knuckles. "Until you." Steady. Real. I shared fragments of my own mosaic, growing up bilingual in a house smelling of mom's pozole, dad teaching me to fix engines on rainy Sundays, the ache of realizing at 15 that my crushes were on the baseball captain, not the cheerleaders. Coming out was like hitting enter on a program you can't debug, scary as hell, but necessary. We laughed about it, the kind of laughter that bridges chasms, and by dessert, chocolate lava cake we shared, forks clinking like toasts, the world outside faded to a murmur. Walking back to his place, arms brushing, the city hummed around us, street musicians plucking guitars under awnings, the ferry horn lowing in the distance. At his door, he kissed me slow, deliberate, hands framing my face. "Stay over." It wasn't a question. We made love this time with the lights on, exploring each other like cartographers, his lips on the scar from a childhood bike crash on my hip, my fingers mapping the freckles across his shoulders. Afterward, curled against him, sheets tangled like our limbs, he whispered dreams, leaving Cascade for his own venture, a tech firm focused on mental health apps for queer youth. "With you. If you'll have me." I woke to sunlight slicing through blinds, his side of the bed empty but coffee steaming on the nightstand. A note, board meeting. Back by lunch. Love, love. The word bloomed in my chest, warm as the brew. I showered in his rainfall head, using his eucalyptus gel, feeling like I belonged. By the time he returned, I was in the kitchen, scrambling eggs with chorizo from his sparse fridge. "Domestic looks good on you," he teased, kissing my neck from behind. Work that week was a tightrope. Cascade's open-plan office buzzed with post-launch energy, whiteboard scrawled with pivots, Slack channels pinging like fireworks. Ethan kept it professional, nods in the hall, emails CC to the team. But the undercurrent thrummed, stolen glances over monitors, his foot nudging mine in stand-ups. I threw myself into the app's backend, optimizing algorithms that matched souls on vibes, not just swipes. "You're a wizard, Morales," my lead dev, Jordan, a non-binary coder with neon hair, quipped one afternoon. "What's your secret?" "Moonlight coding spells." If only. My secret was the texts lighting up my phone, miss your laugh. "Dinner at my folks this weekend?" Ethan's parents were flying in from Boise, a rare visit. I hesitated, meeting family after a week? Too fast. But he insisted, "They'll love you." Mom's been hounding me about settling down. Settling down. The phrase echoed as I agreed. The dinner was at their rented Airbnb in Queen Anne, a Victorian with views of the Olympics shrouded in mist. His mom, Clara, hugged me like a long-lost son, her silver streak bobbing as she pressed a plate of her famous shepherd's pie into my hands. Dad, Tom, a retired engineer with Ethan's jawline, clapped my shoulder, "Heard you're the brains keeping Ethan's ship afloat." We ate on the deck, lanterns flickering, stories flowing, Ethan's rebellious teen phase, dyeing his hair blue, my first hackathon win, building an app for immigrant families to track visa statuses. Laughter came easy, wine loosening tongues, and when Clara pulled me aside later, her eyes soft, "He lights up around you, Raphael." Haven't seen that since. Well, ever. I floated home that night, Ethan's arm around me in the Uber, the city a blur of neon promises. But cracks spiderwebbed in. Midweek, during a late-night debug session, Ethan snapped at me in a team call, something about latency spikes I should have caught. Focus. We can't afford sloppy. The line went dead silent, Jordan shooting me a sympathetic glance offline. He apologized later, in his office, door locked, stress. The boards breathing down my neck. We made up on his desk, quick and fierce, papers scattering like confetti. "You're my anchor," he breathed, forehead to mine. I believed it, even as doubt niggled. Then the invitation, Cascade's annual retreat in the Cascades, a weekend of team building at a lodge near Snoqualmie. "Come as my +1, Ethan murmured over breakfast. +1. Official. My heart raced. Packing for the drive up, I included that white shirt from the first night, a talisman. The lodge was rustic luxury, log beams, stone fireplaces crackling against the chill. Our team arrived Friday, vans crunching gravel, the air pine-sharp. Activities kicked off with trust falls and ropes courses, laughter echoing through evergreens. Ethan shone, rallying us with charisma, but his eye sought mine across the fire pit that night, s'mores toasting golden. We slipped away after midnight, to a cabin annex, the forest whispering secrets. Under flannel sheets, bodies aligning like stars, he confessed, "I'm falling, RAF. Hard." Saturday brought hiking, muddy trails winding to a waterfall, mist kissing our faces. Jordan teased us good-naturedly, "You two sink like a well-oiled API." Ethan blushed, squeezing my hand behind a boulder. But on the return, my phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Enjoying the retreat? Tell Ethan his secret's safe. For now." A friend. Attached, a blurry photo of us leaving the alibi room that first night, arms entwined. My blood iced. Blackmail? I deleted it, heart hammering, but the seed was planted. That evening, around the communal dinner, venison stew steaming, Ethan proposed a toast to new beginnings. Glasses clinked, eyes on us, and he kissed my temple, casual but claiming. Whispers rippled. Progress, I thought. But as we retired to our room, the text haunted me. I showed him, his face paled. Ignore it. Probably some jealous ex-coworker. We made love anyway, slower, seeking solace in skin. Yet sleep evaded me, the waterfalls roar outside a relentless echo. Sunday's wrap-up was subdued, rain lashing windows as we packed. Driving back, Ethan's hand on my thigh, he sighed, "We need to talk about us." Officially. My pulse quickened, yes, define it, labels, future. But his phone rang, the board. His jaw set. "Handle the investor call when we get back," he told me curtly. The warmth chilled. Back in the city, reality crashed. Emails piled, deadlines, bugs, the app's user complaints spiking. Ethan buried in meetings, our text sparse. Then, Thursday, he cancelled dinner, family emergency. Rain check. I worried, paced my apartment, the Space Needle mocking me from the window. Friday, he ghosted, radio silence. Panic clawed. I texted Jordan, heard from E? Nah, swamped. You okay? Saturday, I showed up at his place unannounced, takeout tie in hand. Door ajar, voices inside, low, urgent. I froze, peering through the crack. Ethan, shirtless, arguing with a man I didn't recognize, tall, dark-haired, late 30s, suit rumpled. "You can't just waltz back, Alex," Ethan hissed. "It's over." Alex, his ex? The one from Instagram? After one slip-up? With that kid? Come on, F. We're fire. Their kiss was violent, possessive, Ethan's hands fisting Alex's shirt before pushing him away. But the damage, my world tilted. I backed away, heart shattering like glass under heel, fleeing into the rain. Betrayal burned, hot as tears. What was I? A rebound? A secret? The drive home blurred, wipers futile against the flood. Curled on my couch, phone dark, the truth sank in, I debugged my heart for a glitch that was never mine to fix. The days blurred into a monochrome haze, Seattle's perpetual grey seeping into my bones like damp rot. Work became a minefield, Ethan's office door a constant shut, his emails clipped, revise the patch. Urgent. No glances, no knee bumps, just the echo of that kiss I'd witnessed, replaying like a corrupted file loop. I coded through it, fingers flying over keys in the dim glow of my dual monitors, but errors crept in, syntax slips that Jordan caught with a raised eyebrow. Rough week, IF? You look like you wrestled a kraken. If only. The kraken was Ethan, tentacles of what IFS wrapping tighter, was Alex back for good? Had I been a placeholder, a soft landing after the retreat high? Nights, I prowled my studio, the single bed mocking my solitude, take-out containers piling like unanswered prayers. I avoided the alibi room, the bistro, any corner tainted by us. Instead, I dove into the LGBTQ center, leading a workshop on digital safety, ironic, given my shattered firewalls. The kid's eyes, wide and hopeful, grounded me, a trans teen sketching pride flags, a bi guy sharing his first date flop. You're strong, I told them, meaning myself. A week in, the text came again, still playing house? Ask him about the cabin in Tahoe. Unknown number, same venom. I blocked it, but curiosity gnawed. Googling Ethan Hargrove Tahoe yielded nothing but LinkedIn accolades. Lies layered like Seattle's fog. Then, Friday, HR called me in. Sarah, the director, a sharp woman in her 40s with a pixie cut and no-nonsense vibe, gestured to the chair. Raphael, we've had concerns. Fraternization rumors. Company policy is clear on relationships with superiors. My stomach plummeted. It's not, but it was. Or had been. I nodded, throat tight. Understood. It won't happen again. She softened, we value you here. Just be careful. Walking out, the open office felt exposed, eyes pricking my back. Ethan's door cracked open, he looked up, our gazes locking for the first time in days. Regret flickered in his blue depths, but he turned away. That night, I cracked. Dialed him at 2 a.m., rain lashing my window like accusations. Voicemail, Ethan, it's RAF. We need to talk. Please. No callback. Dawn brought resolve, I'd confront him, demand closure. Monday, I cornered him in the stairwell, the echo of footsteps our only witness. What the hell, man? Alex? The ghosting? Am I just your dirty secret? He winced, running a hand through his hair. It's complicated. Alex showed up, stirred shit. But you're not a secret. I panicked. The board, the exit's a mess. His hand reached for mine, I jerked back. Complicated? That's code for coward. Hurt flashed across his face, raw. Give me time. Please. Time. The luxury I didn't have. We agreed to coffee, neutral ground, a cafe in Fremont with mismatched mugs and indie folk crooning. He arrived disheveled, circles under his eyes. I ended it with Alex. For good. He's toxic, manipulative, always has been. Stories spilled, they're on-off since Yale, Alex's jealousy fueling blow-ups, the Tahoe cabin a romantic getaway turned nightmare. You make me want better, RAF. Steady. Real. I wanted to bolt, but his vulnerability pinned me. We talked hours, fears, flaws, the queer tax of corporate closets. I'm out to my team now, he said, voice steady. Told Clara and Tom too. They're okay. Shocked, but loving. Progress, fragile as new code. By the mug's dregs, tentative hope stirred. Slow, I warned. He nodded, slow as you need. Rebuilding was tentative choreography. Dinners turned platonic, walks along the waterfront, hands brushing but not clasping. Work thawed, a shared laugh over a buggy sprint, his praise in stand-up warming like sunbreaks. One evening, at my place, cozy chaos of bookshelves and a fiddle-leaf fig, he cooked pasta, sauce simmering with garlic and regret. I fucked up, he admitted over candlelight. Scared of feeling this much. I forgave, or tried, our kiss reigniting embers to flame. That night, lovemaking was reclamation, gentle, affirming, his whispers of mine on a balm. But shadows lingered. The anonymous texts persisted, Tahoe pics incoming? I traced the number, burner app, untraceable. Paranoia bloomed, was it Alex? A colleague? Ethan's phone buzzed during a movie, delete this, he muttered, screen angling away. Work, he said. I let it slide, but trust frayed like old rope. Cascade hit a milestone, app download surged, investors circling back. Celebration at the office, pizza, beer, Ethan's speech lauding the team, eyes lingering on me. Pride swelled, mingled with unease. Post-party, he pulled me into his office, proud of us. Lock clicked, desk cleared, we christened success in hurried passion, city lights winking approval. Then, the leak. Wednesday, Slack exploded, leaked email chain, Ethan's words damning. Morales is solid, but keep him close, motivates the team. followed by, personal investment pays off. My blood boiled. Motivational tool? I stormed his office, door slamming. Is that all I am? Leverage? He paled, scrolling the thread. No, God, no. That was sarcasm, taken out of context. HR draft, joking with Sarah. Lies? The email timestamped pre-retreat. Bullshit, I spat. You're using me. Tears stung, I fled, badge slapping the scanner on exit. Home, I unraveled, sobs racking, phone off. Jordan texted, WTF? Fake news? I ignored, curling fetal. Dawn brought clarity, confrontation or cut. I chose fire. At his door, rain-soaked, I unloaded, you're a user, Ethan. Heart first, then career. He begged, stay. Let me prove. But proof felt like poison. We broke, jagged as shattered glass. No contact pact, my heart a hollowed log. Work? Remote, mercifully. Nights blurred, center shifts, runs along the locks, therapy sessions unpacking the wreckage. Betrayal's a teacher, my counselor, Mia, a soft-spoken dyke with tattoos, said. What does it teach you? Self-worth, I whispered. Months ground on, seasons shifting, summer's long twilights mocking my isolation. Ethan emails, miss you. Coffee? Deleted. Then, a package, his leather jacket, the one I'd borrowed that first night, note tucked in pocket, smells like us. Keep it? I did, draped over my chair like a ghost. Fall brought harvest festivals, leaves carpeting Queen Anne. I volunteered at a pride event, rainbow flags snapping in wind. There, amid booths and balloons, Ethan appeared, volunteering too, stacking flyers with awkward grace. Our eyes met, he approached, tentative. Hey. No pressure. Just. Wanted to see you thrive. Thrive. The word unlocked something. We talked, surface at first, then deeper, his therapy, coming out fully at work, the app's queer features he'd championed in my absence. You inspired that, he said. No begging, just growth. I softened, edges blunted by time. A coffee led to walks, walks to dinners, friends first, rebuilding on ruins. One crisp evening, under the Aurora Bridge's hum, he stopped, I love you, RAF. Not for code or clout. For you. Rain misted, I kissed him, salt and second chances. But healing's no straight line. Doubts resurfaced, texts traced to Alex, fired from his firm for harassment. Closure came in a cafe showdown, Alex sneering, Ethan shielding me. Over, Ethan said, voice steel. Alex slunk away, we exhaled. Winter blanketed the city in frost, our bond reforged in quiet rituals, cocoa by the fire, coding side by side. Yet crisis loomed, board pushing Ethan for promotion, relocation to SF come with, he asked, eyes pleading. Choice, leap or linger. I leaped, heart full but scarred. Packing boxes, Seattle shrinking in the review, I glanced back, the space needle piercing clouds, a needle threading our story. New chapter, same us, flawed, fierce, found. No. Wait, the real storm hit en route. A call, accident. Clara's heart. Boise bound, crisis yanking us back. The highway blurred into a ribbon of regret as we veered east, Ethan's knuckles white on the wheel, my hand a steadying weight on his thigh. Boise approached like a memory unspooled, flatlands giving way to the Boise River's lazy curve, the airport squat terminal a beacon in the chill dusk. Clara's hospital room smelled of antiseptic and wilted lilies, monitors beeping a samba rhythm. She lay pale but smiling, Tom's grizzled face etched with vigil. My boys, she rasped, squeezing our hands. Ethan crumbled, head to her shoulder, I held space, the outsider turned anchor. Days melted into a vigil of vending machine coffee and Boyce's understated charm, diner pie at Western Cafe, walks along the greenbelt where Cartonwoods whispered secrets. Ethan and I tag-teamed, him relaying board updates via laptop in the waiting room, me fetching groceries, cooking pozole in their rental kitchen to evoke home. "Your family now," Tom grunted one night, clapping my back over beers on the porch, stars pricking the vast Idaho sky. Family. The word settled, warm against the bite. Clara rallied, slow but sure bypass surgery, then rehab. We extended our stay, turning crisis into cocoon. Evenings, Ethan and I drove the back roads, windows down, wind carrying sagebrush scent. "This scares me," he confessed one twilight, pulling over by the river. "Losing her. Losing us to distance." I kissed his temple. "We're debugged now." Stronger code. Laughter bubbled, tentative, then true, making out on the hood like teens, the world vast and unjudging. Back in Seattle by spring's thaw, reinvigorated, Ethan nailed the SF pitch, but declined. "Roots here," he told the board, citing personal priorities. They balked. He stood firm. Ripple effects, whispers in the office, Jordan high-fiving me, "You two are legend." We went public, email to the team, Ethan and I are together. Support welcome, judgment not. Responses flooded, hearts, hugs, one troll reported. Pride swelled, communal. Cascade thrived, our app won awards, features in Wired touting its queer-inclusive algorithms. We celebrated at a rooftop gala, me in a slim-fit blazer, Ethan dapper in navy, his hand possessive at my waist. Speeches flowed, toasts to innovation, later, on the dance floor, bodies swaying to indie electronica, his lips at my ear, my North Star. Heat built, we escaped to a shadowed balcony, city sprawl below, making love against the railing, urgent, alive, the needle winking complicity. But harmony's fragile lattice. Summer brought heat waves, tempers flaring. A project crunch, deadlines looming, Ethan's stress manifesting in clipped tones. "IF, the metrics are off, fix it." Echoes of old wounds. I pushed back, "We're partners, not hierarchy." Argument escalated, dishes slammed, words like shrapnel, "You always play victim," he shouted. Silence crashed, thicker than fog. I stormed out, crashing at Jordan's couch, the city a neon accusation. Reconciliation took days, texts apologetic, flowers at work. Coffee at our spot, I default to control, he admitted. Therapy's unpacking it. Vulnerability bridged, we vowed communication protocols, check-ins like code reviews. Forged stronger, we planned a road trip north to the San Juan's Islands of Respite. The ferry chugged from Anacortes, salt spray kissing our faces, AUKUS ghosting the swells. Cabin on AUKUS, driftwood floors, sea views. Days unspooled lazy, kayaking coves, beach bonfires crackling with marshmallows and stories. Nights, tangled in linen, exploring anew, his fingers tracing my tattoos, a subtle rainbow circuit on my rib, my lips mapping his collarbones hollow. Forever, he murmured post-climax, stars wheeling overhead. "Debug as we go," I replied, heart full. Return brought normalcy's grind, but laced with joy, joint therapy, queer book club, adopting a rescue mutt named Bite. Yet undercurrents stirred. Alex resurfaced, email to Ethan, "Congrats on the domestic bliss." Miss the edge? Deleted, but screenshot shared. Block him everywhere, I urged. Ethan did, but unease lingered, a low hum. Fall's equinox aligned with Cascade's expansion, new hires, office remodel. Excitement buzzed, Ethan mentored a young gay intern, Kai, sharing war stories over lunch. Jealousy flickered, irrational, I knew, but fed by memories. Trust the process, Mia counseled. I did, journaling shadows away. Then, the bomb, holiday party invite, black tie, investors aplenty. Ethan glowed, our night. Preparations consumed, tailoring suits, practicing toasts. Eve of, he came home late, cologne sharp, Alex's. Paranoia spiked. Where? I demanded. Client dinner. Lie? The scent clung. Party night, venue a glass-walled pavilion overlooking the Sound, chandeliers dripping light. We arrived arm in arm, heads turning. Mingle, champagne flutes clinking, Ethan's charm magnetic, my hand in his acclaim. Then, Alex, uninvited, suit sharp, smirk lethal. Ethan. Raphael. Cozy. Venom dripped. Whispers rippled, Ethan stiffened, steering me away. But Alex cornered later, by the bar, he'll tire of the vanilla, kid. I know his appetites. Doubt poisoned the fizz. I confronted Ethan in the coachroom, voices hushed, what's he doing here? You invite him. No, crashed. Ignore. But his evasion cracked trust. Drive home silent, tension thick. At his door, our door, I exploded, are you seeing him? Be honest. Tears welled, he pulled me close, never. You're it. Proof? He blocked Alex publicly, reported to security. We made love fierce, reclaiming territory, but fractures lingered. Winter deepened, holidays a test. His family visited, Clara radiant post-recovery, Tom grilling me on tech trends. Christmas, tree trimmed with queer ornaments, bite gnawing a bone. Gifts exchanged, he gave me a custom keyboard, engraved our code, I, a leather-bound journal for his startup dreams. New Year's, fireworks over the Sound, his kiss sealing resolutions. Spring bloomed betrayal's shadow. Anonymous package, USB drive, labeled truth. Trembling, I plugged in, videos, grainy, Ethan and Alex, Tahoe cabin, dates post-hour break. Moans, whispers, just stress relief, babe. RAF doesn't have to know. World imploded. I confronted, drive clutched like evidence. His face ashen, ancient. Before us. Alex's revenge. Lies. Timestamps fresh, months into our rebuild. Monster, I whispered, packing a bag. Get out, he begged. I did, crashing with Jordan, heart eviscerated. Crisis Nadia, days in bed, appetite gone, code errors piling. Mia, grieve, then grow. I did, therapy marathons, center shifts doubled, runs pounding pavement till lungs burned. Friends rallied, Jordan's movie nights, Kai's awkward but earnest check-ins. Months carved hollows Ethan tried, voicemails raw, flowers wilted on doorstep. Ignored. Then, rock bottom, my bug caused app outage, team scrambling. Firing loomed, Ethan intervened, anonymously. Gratitude warred with rage. Healing's quiet insurgency, art classes, painting abstracts of fractured light, volunteering abroad plans, Thailand's beaches calling. Self-redrawn, edges sharp. Summer solstice, chance encounter at Pike Place, him buying salmon, me flowers for mom. Eyes meet, pain lingers, but peace too. IF, he starts. Healing? I nod. You? Trying. No reconciliation, just humanity acknowledged. Autumn winds carried me forward, Seattle's pulse sinking mine. New job lead, Portland startup, queer-led. Interview aced, offer came. Packing, bite adopted by Jordan, tears shed. Departure eve, final walk by the Sound, waves lapping regrets. Ethan? A memory, lesson etched, love's not debugged, but worthy of the code. No, the arc bent. A letter arrived, I was wrong. Therapy's light. If ever. Unsent reply in my journal, goodbye, anchor. Find your sea. Westward, Portland's bridges beckoned, new skyline, new code. Portland greeted me with a drizzle softer than Seattle spite, the Willamette River a serpentine welcome under Hawthorne Bridge's arches. The startup, Echo Labs, was a converted warehouse in the Pearl District, exposed ducts, beanbag lounges, a team of 20 misfits coding empathy engines for mental health chatbots. My role, lead dev, salary bump, no ghosts in the machine. First day, CEO Lena, a butch Latina with her infectious laugh, clapped my shoulder, heard you're a wizard with hearts and algorithms. Welcome home. Home. The word echoed as I settled into a studio loft overlooking Powell's books, shelves groaning under sci-fi tomes and my potted succulents, survivors of neglect. Bite visited weekends via Jordan's drives, tail wagging forgiveness. Nights, I explored, food cart steaming pho and tacos, voodoo donuts absurdity a sugar rush antidote to ache. Dating? Swiped left religiously, heart still bandaged. Echo thrived, my code wove narratives into bots that listened without judgment, prompts for coming out scripts, coping with rejection. Users messaged thanks, your app held me last night. Purpose bloomed, thorns dulled. Weekends, I hiked Forest Park, ferns unfurling like second chances, journal filling with sketches, circuits morphing to wings. Yet Ethan lingered, a spectre in quiet hours. Dreams tangled us, kisses turning to knots, waking sweat slick. Mia, now virtual, probed, what does he represent? Betrayal, I said. But also, capacity, mine, to love fierce. Then honor it, she urged. I did, volunteering at Q Center, mentoring a transcoder named Riley, their enthusiasm a mirror to my younger self. Summer festivals pulsed, waterfront blues, bodies swaying to horns under fireworks. I danced solo, hips loose, a cute barista, Javier, curly-haired Portland native, sliding me a beer. Flirtation sparked, light, no depths yet. Dates followed, bike rides along the esplanade, his laugh chasing shadows. You're intense, he said one sunset, fingers interlacing. Good intense. Healing intense. We kissed under cherry blossoms, tentative, tasting possibility. Fall brought crunch, Deco's beta launch, all-nighters fueled by cold brew and camaraderie. Javier waited post-shifts, tacos in hand. Intimacy crept, his apartment, all vinyl records and string lights, bodies aligning slow, exploratory. No bourbon haze, just presence, his hands gentle on my scars, my whispers affirming his softness. This feels right, he murmured after, head on my chest. Right, not electric, comfort in the code. Thanksgiving, train to Tacoma, mom's embrace cinnamon-scented, dad's hug bear strong. Proud, mijo, he said over turkey, eyes crinkling. Stories shared, Portland's quirks, Echo's wins, emitting heart-stay tours. Holidays healed generational rifts, they met Javier via video, approving his goofy grin. Winter's solstice gala, Echo's funders event, fairy lights draping the venue. I wore the blazer from Seattle's party, reclaimed. Javier, arm candy in tweed, whispered jokes during speeches. Then, ripple, Ethan, across the room, guest of a partner firm, suit crisp, eyes widening on me. Time stuttered, he approached post-toast, Javier sensing tension, excusing gracefully. IF. Voice rough, changed. You look radiant. Awkward beat. Ethan. Portland suits you. Small talk barbed, work, weather, Clara's garden thriving. Javier returned, Ethan extended hand, lucky guy. Grace, bitter-edged. As he walked away, Javier squeezed mine, X. Nod. Water under the bridge. Ocean now. The encounter stirred silt, doubts, what ifs? Javier and I talked dawnlit, my history, vulnerabilities bared. I'm all in, he said, but pace yours. Trust rebuilt, brick by brick. New Year's, we toasted on my balcony, city horns blaring, his kiss sealing fresh scripts. Spring erupted, Echo funded Series A, team expanding. I led a queer affinity group, panels on inclusive tech drawing crowds. Javier proposed cohabitation, his place, bigger, garden patch for tomatoes. Hesitation flickered, roots? But yes, boxes packed, bite full time, our mornings synced over espresso. Crisis ambush subtly, Javier's ex, Marcus, a sculptor, brooding type, re-entered via art show invite. Flirtatious texts, for old times. Javier confessed, blocked him. You're mine now. Echo of Ethan, I held space, no accusations. We choose daily, I said. Strength shared, bond deepened. Summer heat baked the city, we escaped to the coast, Cannon Beach's haystack sentinel. Bonfires, waves crashing confessions, Javier's bisexuality unpacked, fears of erasure, my betrayals, walls crumbled. Lovemaking on dunes, salt-kissed, stars witnesses. Family, he asked later, sand gritty. Building 1. Fall harvest, joint trip to Boise, Clara's invite, olive branch extended. Awkward at first, Ethan absent, mercifully, but warmth won, Tom's fly fishing lesson, Clara's pie, stories bridging divides. He misses you, she confided porch side. But sees his errors. Proud of your path. Catharsis, quiet. Echoes growth strained, overwork, burnout whispers. I advocated wellness days, yoga in the warehouse. Javier supported, his gallery show opening, sculptures of intertwined forms, mine inspiring one, entwined circuits. Unveiling night, tears, applause, our hands clasped amid flashbulbs. Winter's grip, holidays blended, his Jewish roots, Larka's sizzling, my Catholic echoes, Posoda carols. Bite romped in snow, joy pure. Proposal whispers? Not yet, content in becoming. Then, fracture, anonymous email to Echo's listserv, leaked chats from Cascade, Ethan's old words twisted, RAF's loyalty is asset. Outrage, Lena called emergency, damage control. I froze, past clawing back. Javier held me, not you. His shadow. Response crafted, transparency post, my voice, past doesn't define. We build inclusive futures. Backlash minimal, support surged. Ethan called, voicemail, I'm sorry. Again. Be well. Deleted, peace settling. Spring renewal, Javier's ring, simple band, beachside. Partners. Yes. Wedding plans hazy, small, queer, Portland rain be damned. Summer solstice, vows exchanged under oaks, friends toasting, bite ring bearer. Ethan? Distant well-wisher card, happiest for you. Closure, full. Life's algorithm, not linear, but looping growth. Portland's bridges span scars, love, Javier's steady hand, coded home. Yet epilogue loomed, Echo's acquisition talks, SF move. Choice echoed old, leap together? We did, hands linked, horizon wide. San Francisco's fog rolled in like a lover's breath, veiling the Golden Gate in Gossamer as our U-Haul snaked Lombard Street's curves. Echo's acquisition by a Bay Area giant meant relocation, bigger budget, bolder scope, but Javier and I embraced it, bites head out the window, tongue-lolling joy. Our new digs, a Victorian flat in the Castro, rainbow flags fluttering from porches, the air humming with history and hedonism. Queer Mecca, Javier quipped, unpacking canvases amid boxes. I laughed, pulling him close, our canvas now. Work ramped, Echo integrated into the mothership, my team swelling with Silicon Valley sharks, diverse, driven, but cutthroat. Meetings in glass conference rooms overlooking the bay, whiteboards bleeding ideas for AI therapists attuned to intersectional traumas. I thrived, pitching queer-focused modules, Lena beaming, you're our voice, RAF. Evenings, Javier's studio in Mission District alleys, turpentine sharp, his sculptures evolving, human forms entwined with circuitry, critiques buzzing at openings. Life layered rich, brunches at foreign cinema, films projected on brick walls, hikes in Murrin, redwoods dwarfing doubts. Intimacy deepened, Javier's touch a language of reassurance, mornings tangled, coffee brewing to moans. You're my muse, he whispered, fingers tracing my jaw. Muse. No baggage, just being. Full brought visibility, TEDx talk on coding compassion, stage lights hot, audience rapt as I shared, veiled, Ethan's shadow omitted, how tech heals hidden hurts. Applause thundered, Javier's hug backstage, star. Backlash? Trolls online, but community amplified, shares, invites to panels. Holidays fused, Hanukkah candles flickering beside luminarias, by donning a tiny kippah. Family converged, mom and dad flying in, awed by the bridges span, Javier's folks from Eugene, toasting with Maniskewitz. Stories wove, my Tacoma roots, his Portland art scene, laughter bridging coasts. Winter's chill nipped, we volunteered at SF's LGBTQ center, facilitating groups for queer youth, echoing my center days, but scaled. One kid, Alexei, a wiry trans boy with dreams of game dev, mirrored me at 15. How'd you code your way out? He asked. One line at a time, I said, heart full. Spring's venture, Javier's solo exhibit, Entangled Wires, at a hate gallery, my story abstracted in bronze and fiber optics. Opening night, throng of collectors, critics, Ethan appeared, unannounced, suit traded for casual Henley, Clara on arm. Stunning, he said to Javier, then to me, you deserve this. No drama, just nod, past acknowledged. He left early, closure sealed, vapor in fog. Summer heat waves baked the avenues, we escaped to Big Sur, cliffside cabin perched over Pacific roar. Days, tide pooling, waves crashing like catharsis, nights, bonfires, guitars strumming folk tunes, lovemaking urgent against Cyprus. Kid someday? Javier mused, stars pricking velvet. Adopt, maybe. Little coders. Laughter, dreams seeding. Echoes integration hit snags, culture clashes, layoffs looming. I advocated, union whispers, but boardroom politics soured. Late nights debugging mergers, stress etching lines. Javier noticed, lean on me. I did, therapy tandem, walks in Golden Gate Park, Japanese tea garden serenity. Crisis crested fall, whistleblower leak, acquirers data breach, queer users sessions exposed. Outrage erupted, media frenzy, my face in headlines, devs warning ignored. Senate hearings loomed, I testified, voice steady, trust is code's core. Breach it, and souls shatter. Flashbulbs blinded, Javier's hand post-hearing, hero. Fallout, acquirer sued, but Echo spun off independent, Lena at helm, me promoted CTO. Vindication bittersweet, users healed via free sessions, my modules credited. Winter's reflection, book deal pitched, memoir, debugging desire. Outline poured, betrayals to bridges, Ethan's chapter a footnote of growth. Agent thrilled, raw, resonant. Spring renewal, wedding anniversary, vows renewed beachside, waves chaplain. Bite, graying muzzle, witness loyal. Summer's zenith, book launch, Castro buzzing, readings packed. Ethan attended, back row, applause joining. Post-signing, coffee invite declined politely, happy trails. Life's code compiled, flaws patched, running smooth. Javier's exhibit toured, we traveled, NYC Stonewall, Tokyo's neon queerness, collecting stories like variables. Yet pivot, bites illness, lymphoma shadow. Vets, treatments, our vigil tender. Last walk, Presidio trails, his tail faint wag. Passing quiet, home, us cradling. Grief raw, but love's lattice held. Healing's harvest, memorial hike, scattering ashes in Muir woods, redwoods eternal. He debugged us, Javier said, tears salting earth. Fall's equinox, pregnancy surrogate news, Javier's bio, our family blooming. Ultrasounds, kicks felt, names brainstormed, Luca, for light. Winter's miracle, birth, hospital room dawnlit, cries piercing joy. Holding tiny form, eyes like Javier's, my heart overflowed. Our algorithm, I whispered. Spring's bloom, parenthood's chaos, diapers, lullabies, bites photos alter. Echo innovated, book bestseller, panels global. Summer solstice, family picnic, Golden Gate backdrop, Luca gurgling. Ethan? Distant card, uncle duties? Declined, but warmth. Life's narrative, not linear triumph, but iterative grace, bugs to beauty, hearts hard-coded home. Epilogue whispered, years on, Luca coding first app, Javier sculpting legacy, me writing sequels. Betrayals? Scars, story strengthening. Full circle, fog lifting. Decades distilled to vignettes, San Francisco's pulse ever throbbing beneath our lives like the city's hidden aquifers. Luca grew wiry and wondrous, 5 now, fingers sticky with gelato as we navigated North Beach's alleys, beat poetry ghosts lingering in city light stacks. Papa RAF, why code words, he'd ask, brown eyes, mine, fierce, probing. To connect souls, mijo, I'd reply, hoisting him to shoulders, Javier trailing with canvas bag of sketchpads, his hair silver-threaded but smile undimmed. Echo Labs, now Echo Collective, sprawled across campuses, a beacon for ethical AI, branches in Berlin, Nairobi, Seoul. I helmed as chief visionary, less code, more crusades, UN panels on digital rights, TED circles unpacking algorithmic bias against queer bodies. Lena retired to vineyards, winking, your circus now, ringmaster. Nights, after Luca's bedtime tales of robot friends, Javier and I debriefed on the deck, our Victorian expanded, garden bursting tomatoes and basil, wine loosening reflections. Remember Portland rain, he'd tease, foot nudging mine. Best storm. Echoes of Ethan's surface sporadically, a conference nod in Austin, his startup, mental health for XX, thriving, partner a quiet architect named Theo. Clara sends pies, he'd email holidays, photos of Boise grandkids. No regrets voiced, just mutual orbit, planets past collision, now harmonious. Once, over virtual coffee post Luca's birth, you built beautiful, he said, voice gravel soft. Learned from the best teacher. Forgiveness, full spectrum. Javier's art ascended, MoMA retrospective, wired hearts touring, sculptures pulsing light like neural nets. Luca modeled, chubby hands on bronze, declaring, Daddy's magic. Family jaunts, Italy's olive groves, Javier sketching ruins, Mexico's markets, my bilingual banter delighting vendors. Luca absorbed, first crush on a Roman boy, casual as gelato, us guiding gentle, loves many languages. Challenges threaded, Luca's questions on donors, where's my other mama? Answered honest, books on rainbow families' bedtime staples. My memoir sequel, Iterative Love, delved betrayals deeper, Ethan's chapter anonymized to the glitch, sales funding scholarships for queer coders. Backlash? Conservative outlets sneered agenda, we countered with user stories, teens saved from edges by our bots. Midlife milestone, 50, mine, a surprise party in the Castro, drag queens lip-syncing to Gaga, Javier's toast, from circuits to soul, you compile my world. Luca, gap-toothed grin, presented a finger-painted heart, Papa's code. Tears, toasts, dance floor abandon, bodies pressed, time's pattern of gold. Echo zenith, Nobel nod for peace, Ari's empathetic frontiers. Stockholm ceremony, tuxes, Luca wide-eyed at fjords, Javier sketching laureates. Speech, I wove personal, once, a boss's stumble taught me, loves the ultimate algorithm, debugging division. Applause global, Ethan's text, well-deserved. Aging's quiet insurgency, Javier's knee, arthritic from studio hours, my glasses, code blurring at dawn. Travel slowed, weekends Mendocino, whale watches, Luca now teen, debating ethics over campfires. AI feelings real, he'd probe. As hours, I'd counter, Javier nodding, art proves it. Crisis crested late, Luca's coming out, 16, by proud at a high school dance, boyfriend Mateo, shy artist like dad. Joy mingled nerves, family dinner, tacos steaming, toasts to authenticity. We see you, I said, echoing my own youth. Echoes evolution, retirement whispers, mentorship to Luca's generation. Javier's final exhibit, legacy loops, installations interactive, visitors coding light into sculptures. Opening, throng, Luca DJing ambient, us watching, hands clasped. Winter's hush, 70s hours, flat cozier, Luca off to Stanford, coding compassion, full circle. Grandkids? Early, but Mateo hints. Evenings, vinyl spinning, Javier's head on my lap, stories retold, Seattle rain to SF Sun. Final arc, Hell's Thief, Javier's heart, echo of Clara's. Vigil tender, Luca flying in, Ethan's call, strength, brother. Passing peaceful, hand in mine, last words, coded eternal. Grief's code, debug slow. Memorial sculpture garden, his works eternal. Luca's eulogy, dad taught form from feeling. I wandered paths, tracing bronze, healing iterative. Years folded, 80s mine, echo legacy Luca's, grandkids, Elena, biohack whiz, Theo Jr., sculptor coda, climbing my knees, demands for tales. Tell the boss story, Abuelo. Laughter, veiled, once, a rainy night debugged a heart. Ethan's end, Boise quiet, Theo at side, Clara gone prior. Service virtual, I spoke, you sparked my fire. Peace, profound. Octogenarian reflection, memoir trilogy complete, eternal compile. Launches hybrid, fans young, queer, querying, regrets. None. Just evolutions. Luca's wedding, Mateo vows under redwoods, Elena flower girl. Dance with grandkids, Javier's ghost in breeze. Twilight, flat balcony, fog caressing, book open, his sketch inside. Heart flutters, but steady. Life's program, run complete, no errors fatal.